So the first time I was going to court, I was working for CPS, and my boss said to me, you know, I know you've got to go testify, Stolar, so here's what I want you to do. Read your file and just go in and tell the truth. It's going to be fine. I'm like, all right, sir, sounds good. So I get to court. I've got my big old case file that, you know, you have to flip through, and I got up on the stand, and one of the best attorneys in the county, still to this day, took me apart limb by limb. And I didn't forget what it felt like to be up on that stand and to have that experience, and it was horrible. I didn't know to look over at county counsel for nods and stops. I didn't know to pace myself. There's all these things that I just didn't know. And that particular case, we lost. And in that particular framework, it's the difference of a family, right? Staying together, not staying together, adoption, not. So it's big stuff. And so by the time I got home that night, I thought, I'm done. I'm going back to waiting tables. Like, fuck social work, man. I'm not doing it. But I really had to come to grips with it. So what I decided to do the next day, I said to my boss, that sucked for me. I hated how it felt, and I never want to feel like that again. And he said, you know what, Stolar, go back and sit there and just deal with it and tell them that, you know, yesterday sucked for you, and ask them to teach you. And I did it. I went and I asked, and they did. They were shocked that I came back, because it's the same row of attorneys, you know, every day. And they taught me step by step, this is what's happening right now. This is what's going on over here. This is how you could do this. This is that. And it was like all of a sudden my eyes started to open. I saw all the handshakes that happen when court's not in session, the conversations, the information. And it was so interesting to me because it was this completely different environment. So what I had to do was force myself to realize, you know absolutely nothing about this, and you're gonna have to learn everything about it so that you never have another day like that again. I know a lot of therapists that have been to court, and they say, man, that one time, and that seals the deal, right? They're like, that's it. I'm never going back, or I'm just gonna ignore the subpoenas. We'll talk about that. Not a great plan. But again, it's like having a bad meal at a restaurant. It doesn't mean you're gonna stop eating meals, right? You're gonna keep eating. So we have to figure out how to get more comfortable with our environments. So that particular day I sucked, and the next day I went back and I learned, and it was great, and I kept learning, and I kept watching like Law and Order, and I swear to you, that show is so helpful. Like, and I'd love to tell you that my kids don't watch it, but they do, and when they argue back with me, they'll say things like, well, where's your evidence to support that, Mom? And I'm like, oh God. Oh, that's what I get for educating you. So I learned more about it. So come to the end of my career at CPS, and there was a sibling set that there was an attempt to pull them apart. And the court was starting to get behind that, and it just didn't feel right. And so we fought and we fought and we fought, and we went to court, and it was me against that same attorney. So we're talking about the difference of what, 2003 to 2000. Jill, what year was that? 2013? 2013-ish, right? Yeah. Okay. So we all had worked on this one particular family because it took a village, and so went back up on the stand, and I remembered thinking, not today, Satan, not today. Right? You're not winning. And so he had me on cross, and I was like, not today. And so I started messing with him, and then I would be like, I don't understand the question, or I'd interrupt, oh, I thought you were done with your question, I'm sorry. And the judge is like, yeah, why don't we slow down a little bit for the witness? I'm like, yeah, that's right, Your Honor, let's slow down for the witness. And he's looking at me, and I'm like, we won. Those kids are now adopted with the right mom. They're doing amazing. I got the chills because they're just one of my favorite, like, ever. So it's amazing when outcomes show up for you like that.